Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Live from Lakewood. We're middle of Ches, Amud Beis. Gufa, Mama smack in the middle. Omer Rebbe Lozer. Mincha shekmatza beheichal kshera. So, kmitza, what's kmitza? For those of you who are brand new, haven't been to Menachos yet, you're allowed to bring, as one of the korbanos, you bring a mincha. A mincha is a flour gift, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's like a carbon, but it's made out of flour. You bring this, there's a few things you have to do. Some of them you add oil, levina, some of them you don't. The kohen takes his hand, goes like this, into the flour, takes 3 fingers worth of flour. That's the kmitza. Inside is the kaimetz. He takes the kaimetz, puts it in another klisharis, and another vessel. And then they take that, they walk it to the mizbech, put it on the mizbech. He takes from here, he goes like this. It's larger than this, but okay. He takes out 3 fingers worth, and he puts it on the mizbech. Now, where does he do it? He's supposed to do it in the blue box, the blue dotted box. What happens if he does it in the red dotted box? What's the red dotted box? It's called the Heichal. The Heichal is a very tall building. It's about 400 feet tall. Yeah? 200 feet tall. 200 feet tall. Inside, you have the famous menorah. You have the shulchan with the lechem apanim. You have the mizbech hazav. And past that, you have the Kodesh HaKadoshim. Inside, all the way at the end, on the right side of the screen, is the Kodesh HaKadoshim. He goes inside the Heichel, inside the red dots, and he does the Kmitza. Is it good or not good? So where says Kavachoymer? If it's good in the blue dots, which has less Kedusha, certainly in the red dots. Mincha shekmatza b'Heichel kshera. Shekematzinu b'siluk zvachim. So first the Gemara says, we see this by the Shulchan. The what? So here you have the shulchan with the 12 lechem apanim, and there's also 2 spoons full of levina, frankincense. And what happens is you have to take the levina off of the shulchan. I'll zoom in on it. These 2 spoons. You take those off and you burn them, and then the kohanim could eat the lechem apanim on Shabbos. Where's the shulchan? Shulchan is in the heichal. Oh, this bezichin, taking the bezichin, taking the levina, and put it is similar to the kmitza. Just like the kmitza is similar to shchita and zrika on the take the kmitza, the kaimitz, you put it onto the mizbech. It's like zrika. Everything is similar. So you want to understand, just like we're able to do such an avodah in the heichal, so we could also do kmitza in the heichal. What's the Rabbi Yirmiyah? The comments misham. It says in the positive comments misham. You should do kmitza from over there. What's over there? Now there's an area, if you look in the back of that Gemara, you can see it clear. It's called Ezer Yisrael. I'll zoom in on here where it says Ezer Yisrael. You see, it says Ezer Yisrael. There's 11 amma, like 22 feet. Not here. Let me see if I can find it. Right over here. This one. See the red dotted lines? That's where Yisrael stands. Us guys, most of us in this room, we stand there like sardines in this 22 area by the width of the Azara, 11 amas. So it says that you should do the kmitz over there. Now it doesn't make a lot of sense. Why should you do kmitz over there? Dafka over there. Do it anyway. Do it all over the Azara. Why dafka over there? The Gemara understands maybe that you do it over there, not inside the heichal, only over there. The kohen has to do the kmitz with the right hand. What if he messes up? He does it with his left hand. We had a whole sugi yesterday. Put back the flour, start all over again with your right. I don't learn that the kmitz has to be over there where the Yisrael stands. Kametz Misham means do in that bowl. It's not in the place in the Heichal, in the Azara. The place of the bowl. Same bowl that you started doing the kmitz, that's where you should do the kmitz again. He himself asked the question. And he answered himself that what? He answered the question. It's not the komat misham from that place of the Yisrael. It means from the bowl. Igdar me Amar le Rabbi Yaakov le Rabbi Yirmiyah. It's Rabbi Yaakov that answered about Azrilo. But Tachtiv Azrilo. He'll explain. Lo nizrach el hachshir es kol azor kula. The chiddush is misham that you could do the kmitza in the entire azor. Shali toimer hoyel v'oyel v'kachi kachi umecha kachi kachi. Ma'il tunat safain. I wonder if I put it was in the other day's dafs. I don't think I have it here. You see this? This is the Mizbeach. This wall right over here, where the laser is going, that's Tzafon. That's the northern wall of the Mizbeach. So from this laser all the way down here is the northern part of the Azara. Kachi Kachin, which are Oyla, Chatos, Osham, Shani Tzibur, they're all down here in this area. Kachin Kalim, like a Shlamim, a Taida, they're everywhere. This entire area, even in the south, right over here. So the Gemara says, oh, I would think that a mincha could only be done in the northern part, from the Mizbech downwards. Where do we shech the oila? Only in the northern part of the Azara. Only half, like from the Mizbech downwards. So too, I would say by a mincha also. Ma'oila tuna tzafa, and have mincha tuna tzafa. Ma'oila shkin says, well, no, can't bring a right from oila. Ma'oila tuna ma'oila shkin kol. Oila, you put the whole thing on the mizbeach, so that's why you need tzafan. But a mincha not. Mincha you get to eat. It's a lighter kind of thing, so there's no reason why to do it only in tzafan. So no, maybe I'll learn mechatos. Chatos, the kohanim get to eat from it. And nevertheless, it has to be only in the tzafan. So maybe the mincha also only tzafan. Malachas shekem mechaperes chayil b'krisus. No, chatos is also very chomer. It comes to be mechaper on people that did it karetz. So me'ashal, let's learn from me'ashal. Malachas shekem meaning domim. What's meaning domim? So the pasuk says, "Ki nefesh habasar b'adami v'ani nasad l'chem al mizbeach chava nafsheseh ka'adamu b'nefesh yichav." You get the kapara through the dam. It's a different kind of musug. It's that's why you need tzafan. Akopanim, why do I need this pasuk of v'kamat misham? What does v'kamat misham give me now? A mincha is different than a carbon. Elo yitzrich, I need it. Sogadai dechamina hoyel uchsiv ikrivel akoyin v'gishal mizbeach. The comments. Oh, so now we're going to talk about Agasha. For those of you who learned Menachos, you know. Those of you who don't, might not know what Agasha is. So here's Agasha. If I can find it. Agasha. Here we go. The idea is to take the flour and put it on what corner? Anybody that knows? Huh? Southwest. How do you know? Airplane. Very good. Southwest is airline. That's right. Obviously, these guys never saw the shear. One of the main corners of the Mizbeach, and you can see on the bottom, you have the two sheetin over there. Not the sheetin, you see the plane. So I once said Southwest. I threw on the screen the Southwest Airlines. Just to remember, and Taka, they remembered a year later. Southwest. The comment, so Hagasha means you take the bowl of flour, you take it, and you literally touch the corner of the Mizbeach, the southwest corner of the Mizbeach. So Mamela, I would think that just like Hagosh is where on the southwest corner of the Mizbeach, so too the Kmitza also should be on the southwest corner of the Mizbeach. All Kmitza should be done right over there in that area. That's why I need the Kamatz Misham. Great. Gufa. New Sugi. Rabbi Yochanan. If you take shlamim and you bring it into the heichal, it's kosher. Shene'emar ushchatoi pesach oil moed v'le'yatafel chomer min ha'ikir. Says Rabbi Yochanan that if I take shlamim, usually I have to shech shlamim where in the blue dotted dots. That area, shlamim is the kachim kalim. So kachim kalim I can shech also in the south part of the azar. But what if I take it and I bring it into the red, into the heichal? It seems like a little extreme. Nobody goes into the heichal. Kohen goes in there, lights the menorah, brings the Torahs once a day, twice a day. But shecht, an animal, blood, yeah, you bring it in there, caution. Why? It has much more kedusha than the azara, so certainly it should be okay. So says the Gemara. Meisvei, Rabbi Yehuda b'Mseir Oimeh, Menayin shemikifu goyim es ha'azara. The goyim are around the Azara, and Rashi says in Zvachim that they're shooting missiles into the Azara. That's what he says over there. Now, what do? If the goyim are surrounding you, you go into the Azara, the Kohanim go into the Azara, and they eat. They eat the kachi kachi. The shiyar menachos, and the leftover, after the kohen takes his 3 fingers full of flour, the rest goes to the kohanim, shiyar. So the Gemara, Talmud Loimar, how do you know? Talmud Loimar, b'kodesh HaKadoshim techlanu. That if the goyim are surrounding you, you go into Kodesh HaKadoshim, not literal Kodesh HaKadoshim. Over here means one step before the Kodesh HaKadoshim, the Heichal. Some say it even means the Kodesh HaKadoshim. But the problem is, v'lomali krod aftesom and aleph on top. Lema b'chatzara u'ma if you could eat the kachim. Where do you eat Kodesh HaKadoshim? Where do you eat kachi kachim? You eat kachi kachim in the Azar. You can't eat it in Yerushalayim, you have to eat it in the Azar. So if you could eat in the Azar, so certainly the same type of chaymer Rabbi Yochanan made before you should make over here. If you could eat kachim in the Azar, so certainly you should be able to eat them in the heichal. And why do you need a pasuk for that? Says the Gemara, I'll tell you why. Avoida dadam oived b'makom rabbi amrinon shliyatav chaymer menayik. To do an avoida, to do a shchita, to shecht shlamim before the Rebbeinu Shalom, that I could say that's something normal that you could do in front of the Rebbeinu. Achila she'no demoichel b'makom rabbi, but to eat, that's already not proper. To eat in front of your Rebbe, in front of the Rebbeinu Shalom, to take it to that step, to eat inside the heichal, which is closer to the Rebbeinu Shalom, that you don't do. And that's why you need a pasuk having the kasam kra, holy kasam kra, leitav chom and ikra lamrin. So mainly you need a pasuk that you could eat in front of the Rebbeinu Shalom. You could eat kachim in the heichal. You don't say kavachayim. Itmar. Belala chutz l'choymas azara. Belala here. So this we do have a video, but this is more for learning purposes. This is not a funny one or anything. This is how you make a mincha. You take a kli called an isaron. You fill in enough flour for isaron. Now, in certain menachos, the first step is you pour oil in first, then you put the flour, you put oil again, and then there's a third time you put oil. You mix it all together. What happens if you do this mixing, this blila, you do outside of the Beis Hamikdash? We have machlokes Rabbi Yochanan and Shlakish. Lo chutz l'chametz hazara. Rabbi Yochanan psula, Shlakish amakshera. Machlokes. Shlakish amakshera. The chsiv yatzak al Hashem and also another levina. First you do all these things. You put the oil, then you put the levina, v'hadar, and only afterwards v'avil b'nei Aaron hakohanim b'kamatz. Then comes the kohanim. By the way, no machlokes between Rabbi Yochanan and Shlakish. Rabbi Yochanan also agrees to this that a zar Yisrael could do all this. Just what? Mikmitza ve'elach mitzvah skuna seder. Everybody agrees. Limida yitzika u'blila sheksher mizah. So says Rish Lakish, since we learn from here that the yitzika and the blila, to put it all together, Yisrael could do. And this is the nekuda that they argue on. And since you don't need a kohen, Yisrael is also good. So he does a jump here. If you could use the Yisrael to do the blila, so you could also do it outside of the Beis Hamikdash. On that, Rabbi Yochanan argues, Rabbi Yochanan Amar Psula, given that Siyasa B'Kliyu. Look, you look at this picture. What is he doing? He's doing it in a golden kli. It's a kli sharis. That's the kedusha of this kli. So since you're doing it in a kli, you need the kuna libaya. You're right. Certain things are avoida. You don't need a kohen, like shchita. It's not an avoida, but it's not avoida chashuva, but it's avoida. It's part of the process. So putting it in a kli sharis is also part of it. It might not be chashuv. You don't need a kohen, but it's still part of the process. And therefore you definitely need to be inside the Beis Hamikdash. Tanka was said Rabbi Yochanan. We have a brayso like Rabbi Yochanan. Blala zor kshera chutz l'chametz hazar. So it says mafurish. If you do it outside the Beis Hamikdash, it's possible, and you boil inside, you kosher. Outside of the hazar, it's possible. Itmar min chosher kodim k'mitzah. Rabbi Yochanan Yomi mitach Beis Hamikdash. Or Shlakish Yomi mitach Beis Hamikdash. Right over here. So we're gonna have two machlokes in over here. Over here, I have five steps. You have putting the flour in, the yitzika, putting the oil, blila, mixing it in, and now comes the kmitza. After it's all mixed in, the kohen goes like this, not because right, we're talking about a mincha that has oil, so it's not into the flour, it's into dough, and he does the kmitza. What happens, as the Gemara, if the mincha is missing part of it? Now, obviously, you can't do a kmitza when part of it is missing. But what do? Rabbi Yochanan says, go home, bring some more flour, fill it up. Not a problem. You can't do it. It's too late. We're lacked out of this. This mincha is finished. Why? It's good. Why is it good? Because when he did the kmitza, it had the right amount. He did kmitza, that's it. Now it became a mincha. It's missing now. Okay, so you can't be makter the kmitza. So go home and bring a little bit more. It says in the pasuk. Let's see if we have the pasuk over here. Rashi brings v'hanisaris mina mincha, that you can't have anything missing from the mincha. Mina mincha, but it has to be a mincha, not pre-mincha. It has to be a mincha. So what makes it a mincha? Says Rabbi Yochanan, I'll tell you what makes it a mincha. The kmitza makes it a mincha. From that point on, it can't be missing. Once you put it, we know it's a klisharis. Klisharis has powers. Anything you put in becomes kaddish. Oh, once I put it in, it became kaddish. Therefore, it's locked out. So says the Gemara, we're talking about a mitzvah. This kli is a klisharis. Yeah, it's a golden kli, it has gedusha. He's pouring the oil into another kohen's left hand. And from this left hand, he goes through the whole process. This is the process. You put the blood on the thumb, and then on the big toe, and then on the ear. Then you take the oil and put it on the same spots. On the thumb, on the big toe, and on the ear. The leftover oil, from the left hand, where does it go? It goes on the guy's head. Oh, so what happens if from this lug? So this whole video is for this picture. This lug, it's a klisharis. Inside this klisharis is oil. It's kaddish. What does it say? If some of the oil is missing, chasar lug, the oil from this klisharis is missing. If he didn't start the process, fill it up. No, even if he poured, but this klisharis is mekadesh, just like your Rosh said before. The bowl is mekadesh. You can't. That's it. You're locked out. So over here also, you're locked out. You can't add oil. It's already mekudesh. Elamai, you see, like Rabbi Yochanan, that you could. Tiyufta, fine. Idmar, shiraim shechazar ben kmitz la'aktar. Oh, so now we're moving on. We can go to the next chart. Now you'll see why this chart is so gishmak. Here, you see this chart? First, we'll go this chart. We're talking about that the flour went missing between the blila and the kmitza. Now we're going to this chart. Moving over. Oh, you saw it moved? Givaldi. He already did the kmitza. Now the flour went missing. Shirayim shechazar ben kmitza la'aktara. Now, let me ask you something. Let's see who's paying attention here. After the kmitza is done, go. What's the problem? Go to your counter. Go to the thing. Here's some fun. Just add a little bit. What's the problem? No. Huh? No, you put it. It has kedusha into the bowl. You make kedusha. What do you mean? What's the problem? What? No, I'm gonna go to the closet, get some new fresh flour. Ma baya. The answer is it's a big baya. There's no kmitza done to it. You already did the kmitza. How can you add flour after the kmitza? You didn't do kmitza on that flour. You'll never do kmitza on that flour. So you can't add flour. That's it. You're done. But the question is, can I continue moving towards the mizbeach and put it on the mizbeach? So what if in this bowl something went missing? This is the shirayim. This is the koyanim we're going to eat later on. But my kmitza was done nicely from the right shear. Let him continue going to the mizbeach and be maktir. So Rabbi Yochanan says it's okay. You cannot. I'll leave it there. As the Gemara is going to say in a second, what Rabbi Eliezer is Kipligi alib the Rabbi Shua. So we have Machlokes Rabbi Lezer and Rabbi Shua. We have Machlokes and Rabbi Shua. The what? It's not nitmu shiarel, nisru shiarel, avdu shiarel. Rabbi Lezer is of the opinion that if this shirayim, you see Rabbi side, the leftover flour gets burnt, gets lost, it's not a problem. Take the kaimetz and put it on this bear. Why? The same thing that we have by a carbon. This is a machlokes based on a carbon. What happens after you shech the carbon? The carbon goes missing. It got burnt. It's gone. Birds came, ate it up. Can you do zrikas adam? Can you take the blood and throw it on the mizbeh? Rabbi Lezer says yes. I don't need any carbon. Nisfu shira of the shira. Kimidas Rabbi Lezer kshera. So according to Rabbi Lezer, it's perfect. Everything got burnt. Who cares? You have the kaimetz in your hand. You have the dam in your hand. Throw the dam. Put the kmitz on the mizbeh. Kimidas Rabbi Shua psula, but according to Rabbi Shua, it will be possible. You need it. You can't just not have any of the mincha. Says the Gemara, man the pasuk Rabbi Shua, man the machsher. Oh, so the Madonna says it's possible it's going to hold like Rabbi Shua because you have to have the mincha in front of you before you do the kmitza, the kaimetz on the mizbeh. Man the machsher, however, even in Rabbi Shua, you could say that's kosher. Why? Rabbi Shua. Hasam. Why does he say over there it's possible? Because nothing is left over. Zero. So when zero is left over, you can't put the kmitz on the mizbeh. When zero of the animal is gone, you don't have a single part of the animal left, then you can't do zrikas adam. But over here, we're talking about that this is still here. Just what? It's a little bit of the flour is wet missing. I feel Bishua might delay. So even Bishua will say that it's good. Why? Because you have a nice amount left. Oh, and the Sanya, and I'll prove it to you like Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Shua Omer calls Vachim Shabbat Torah Shenishtar Mehem Kizayis Basar. Oh, so right over here is the raya from this line, and then we're going to continue. If you have from a carbon 1 kizayis of meat left over, an animal weighs 1,000 pounds, you have one little amount left over, a kizayis chaylev or a kizayis of chaylev. What's the difference between a kizayis basar and a kizayis chaylev? Chaylev goes on the mizbeach. Basar goes in your mouth, right? Basar is edible for the koyanim, and the chaylev goes for Hakadosh Baruch Hu. So if you have a kizayis of meat left over, so for that kizayis that's left over, I can do zrikas adam. But if I don't even have that kizayis, I can't do zrikas adam. Or if I have a kizayis chaylev, also I can do zrikas adam. Mamish like Rabbi Yochanan said, kechatzi zayis basar, kechatzi zayis chaylev. But what if I have a half a kizayis of steak and a half a kizayis of fats that go on the mizbeach? Together I have a kizayis. And it's zarek is adam. The two different types of achilas. One is achila salda, one is achila the mizbeach. They don't go together. Uba this is gewaldig. I feel kechatzi zayis basar, kechatzi zayis chaylev, zarek is adam. If I have a half kizayis of meat and I have a kizayis of chaylev, they combine together. Why? The entire oil anyways goes on the mizbeach. There's no such thing as edible and not edible. The whole thing is for the Rebbeinu Shalom. So I have a kizayis of meat and I have a kizayis of chaylev is both for the Rebbeinu Shalom. So together you have a kizayis of behema, of carbon, and memelo I could do the zrikas adam. Ube mincha, this needs explanation. We're going to get the explanation on the base. Ube mincha, v'pisha kula kayemes li'Yisrael. And if you have a mincha, you hear this? If you have mincha, even if the entire mincha is full, you cannot throw blood. What does blood have to do with this? Where's the zrikas adam negeh to this mincha? Li'Yisrael says, you know what, after some of the base, mincha ma'avita. Where's the zrikas adam over here? Amra, papa, minchas nesachem. You see, we're learning new things every minute. There's something called a minchas nesachem. That's a mincha that comes together with a carbon. So, what happened? The entire carbon went feifet. Something happened. I don't know, burnt. And I have a mazrik full of blood that I'm supposed to do zrikas adam with it. And then I have this. I have a bunch of flour, mincha, that went together with the carbon. It goes together. Certain carbonates have to bring in mincha. So maybe I would think I could do zrikas adam. Why? Because I have the mincha left over, and it's part of the carbon. So maybe it's considered part of the carbon. Then no. Yes, you're right. You bring it together with the carbon, but it's not a carbon. The carbon is missing. You can't do zrikas adam. Okay, Zog the Gemara, and it's very simple. Omra Papa, minchas nesachem. Oh no, I already said this. Yeah. Uman de pasa. Yeah, 4 lines from the top. Rish Lakish who says it's possible shani hachad amakro vehirim akoyim ben aminchas haskaraso vehigdam is beicha. Vehirim is the kmitza that you do from a mincha. Ha mincha. Adi isa lekul mincha says Rish Lakish leyaktir. You need the entire mincha. Some of it goes missing. You can't put the kmitza onto the mizbeach. V'yidach, what does Rabbi Yochanan say? Mina mincha shoyse kvar. What does that mean? The point you look over here it's very interesting. This Masechta has a lot of parentheses. So over here is like 2 lines of parentheses, which it seems like someone other than the Amoraim put it in here, so it comes out. But he says, it's like a pirush. In other words, as long as at the time of the kmitza, when the kohen put his hand into the flour, it had a full shear. What happened afterwards, I don't care. Put the kmitza on the mizbeach. Mincha shahoisa kvar. That at a certain point, it was good. It was the right amount. This is we had yesterday. To remind the Olam, we're talking about the Shulchan. Oh, here. This is a nice video you did. You have the Shulchan. Comes a Kohen and grabs one of the breads. I actually had the schus to hold one of these. And it managed like that. That's what happened to me, basically. Because they're impossible to make. There's a guy, Seidel, his name is Seidel Israel. He tries to make these. He tries to show you how it's done. The kits are the shape, and it's so heavy and so big that it's almost impossible to make. Anyway, the guy grabs it. What happens? It breaks. When it breaks, you have crumbs that fall to the floor. They get lost. So now you're missing part of the mincha, part of the lechem hapanim. It's a problem. So, actually, Pirkei Nifras, if before they pull the bezichin, you see the kohanim in this picture are holding the bezichin in their hands. That's called pirka. But if it's right before that, the bezichin are still on the table, and this kohen shlamaz went grab a piece of bread, the lechem hapanim without rishos, and he breaks it, and then it gets lost. Part of it gets lost. Then you're out of luck. Halechem pasul, you can't eat the lechem hapanim. You have to have full bread. You have to have everything perfect. Shiurim. If something gets lost, you can't eat the bread, and you can't put the levina on the mizbech. But if, like in this picture, where the kohanim are holding onto the bezichin, they already took it off the table. We had 2 days ago. How do you take it off the table? 4 kohanim walk in. One kohen grabs 6 breads. Next kohen grabs 6 breads. One kohen grabs 1 spoon. Next spoon. Another 4 kohanim, total of 8. They bring in the new breads and the new bezichin. Fine. But if you already took the bezichin out, then you can't eat the bread, but you could put the bezichin on. It's missing some of the bread. And according to Rish Lakish, if some of the mincha is missing, what's the halacha according to Rish Lakish? You can't put the kmitza on the mizbeach. So over here, some of the lechem hapanim is missing, so you can't put the bezichin on the mizbeach. Now we go weiter. It doesn't mean that he mamish took the bezichin off the shulchan. It was the 6th hour of the day. Did anybody look it up, Doc? Says the Gemara. So we have a problem. That if some of it is missing, some of the bread, some of the lechem hapanim is missing, how can you put the bezichin on the mizbeach? Says the Gemara, Amalei, Hamani, Rebbe Eliezer. It goes according to Rebbe Eliezer. We saw Rebbe Eliezer in Nomad Aleph, that if the entire carbon is burnt, the entire mincha is burnt, you could continue putting the kmitz on the mizbeach. You can continue doing zrika. Omar Lei, I don't like that. You're telling me, I know I'm telling you a whole mishnah that goes according to everybody. Rebbe Eliezer telling me it goes according to one shita. And another problem, Rebbe Eliezer, Ma'ir Nifras. You tell me a very small chiddush. Guy takes a lechem hapanim like you saw in the video, and he breaks it, and 3 crumbs fall to the floor. Oi, it's missing. I'm going to tell you a much bigger chiddush. If the entire lechem hapanim was burnt, not a single morsel left of the lechem hapanim, you could still put, according to Rebbe Eliezer, you could still put the bezichin on the mizbeach. Why are you telling me a case where a few crumbs are missing? The whole thing is missing. Afilu sarvav anami machshav. Ishtik, you didn't know what to answer. Ask the Gemara about my shasak. Why? There's something, I have a gewaldige answer. Lemelei tzibur shani. What's lechem hapanim? Lechem hapanim is something for the community. We have coolest when it comes to the community. We know that tum is hutri b'tzibur. Ishu nami chisar. So a little bit of the lechem hapanim is missing. So for the tzibur, we're going to allow it. Or I'll tell you why you didn't answer it. Because his proof achisar kibal mumdam. When something's missing, it's like a broken leg. When we have a broken leg, even by tzibur, you can't get away with a carbon that has a broken leg. A balmum is a balmum. So this lechem upon him is a mum. It's a balmum. So even for tzibur, it wouldn't work. So he sent it over. He says, it doesn't say where Rabbi Yochanan and Shlokish argue. They'll argue even in the case of Minchas Oimer. What's Minchas Oimer? On the second day of Pesach, we bring a Mincha, which allows us, according to some, allows us to eat the new crop, the Chodosh. Omar Rav Adar Rahav is Yisrael Zachisorik Balmum Domi. Balmum Kitzir. We said this. Omar Malkioi says Malkioi. So I'll just say the sugya in 1 second, and that's the end of the sugya. We have here 2 psukim that both say that you're not allowed to have any flour missing. So that's a bam kasha on who? On Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan says that if you have flour missing, you can go be makar of the chaymitz, and we have 2 psukim. In fact, the 2 psukim are a raya against both of Rabbi Yochanan's shitas. I'll remind the Olam. Shita number 1, machlokes number 1, was when the flour went missing between the belila and the kmitza, where Rabbi Yochanan said, not a problem, just go home and bring more. And machlokes number 2 was after the kmitza, but before the aktara, where Rabbi Yochanan says, be makter, it's not a problem. So since we have 2 psukim over here, and they both say you can't have any flour missing, what's 2 psukim? 1 is enough. No, 2 psukim for both of these halachas. That's the Gemara's kasha. And for that we have a text. Real quickly. It says in the pasuk salta, which is flour, the fine flour. If it's missing from the yisaron, that kli that holds the yisaron, it's possible. Bishamna, if it's missing a little bit from the oil, shim chosrum kolshu possible. From the lug, that kli that holds the oil, if a little bit is missing, possible. We learned another place, another pasuk. If it's missing anything from the mincha, the levina, no good. As the Gemara Trek Roy, normally we need 2 psukim to say that if some and we're talking really about the flour. 2 psukim about flour missing. Why do I need that? These 2 charts, this one and this one, to tell us that Rabbi Yochanan is wrong. In both of those charts. Loi. Rabbi is going to say that if this happens, the Torah is telling you, if you're missing some flour, not that it's possible. The maybe in. Go home and bring more. Don't be good. Be loy. If you don't bring more, then it's possible. And the other one is telling us the second case. You're right. They are talking about these cases, but not like you're saying that it's a right against Rabbi Yochanan. No, Rabbi Yochanan is going to explain. Even though you take this kmitza and you makter it, this is a big chiddush Rabbi Yisai. You went ahead and you put the kmitza on the mizbeach. But what about this? What about all this flour that's left over? Usually the kohanim get to eat it. The Torah says you're not allowed to eat it. The Bible, we actually had a question. According to like Rabbi Yochanan, says that you can take the kmitza and put it onto the mizbeach. But what about the leftover? Can you eat it? When the kohen takes a kmitza, that's 1 iseres. But when after the kmitza more goes missing, that's niseres min iseres, and that you can't eat. So one pshat is that as long as that during the kmitza you had the right shear, what happens afterwards doesn't matter. You're allowed to eat it. The kohanim could eat it. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDY.com.